Good afternoon. Thank you for taking the time to come today. I'm Diane Shepard. I'm the mental health counselor here at Bates Technical College, and this is our third Lunch and Learn session. Today we're going to talk about firming up your foundation. As you travel through your academic journey, we want you to have a firm foundation so that when you are done here and you move out into the community and get your job, that you will have something solid in place. It's like building a house. You have to have a firm foundation in order to build upward. So today we're going to talk about resilience because that's part of your foundation. When you hear the word resilience, think about what that means to you, right? Because all of us in this room have gone through some sort of trauma, every single one of us. And you may think to yourself, well, no, not really. But when we hear the word trauma, we usually think about big things. How many of you were here during the pandemic? That was huge. That was a really big thing. How many of you here were impacted by the pandemic? So when you think about it from that perspective, everything about our world changed. Those people that have greater resilience manage to make it through with less impact or decreased impact. So this is why we want to make sure that you understand that resilience is a skill that you can build. The formal definition of resilience is the ability to adapt when challenges, unexpected circumstances, threats, or increased stress happen in our life. It includes the ability to bounce back from adverse circumstances and learn from the experience, as well as gain new skills, new perception, and develop as an individual. Developing your resiliency skills contribute to facing challenges with purpose and confidence, utilizing positive coping strategies, and contributes to your individual growth. For students, which the majority of you here are students, it is related to the ability to adapt to and conquer challenges in your academic and personal arenas throughout the educational journey. Resilience is a critical skill for successfully navigating the demands of education, developing or maintaining positive well-being, and preparing for the next steps in life, to include the employment career journey. How many of you know what your career journey is going to look like when you're done here? Or are you still exploring? Because it's going to be new. You're learning new skills here, and you're going to have to figure out, well, how do I take these new skills and apply them in a different arena? It involves developing a growth mindset, practicing positive self-care, and developing or enhancing strong support systems and networks. Support systems and networks are critical because no one here can do everything all by themselves. We all need somebody else to guide us through, to support us, to encourage us, to motivate us, to empathize with us when we feel that we are not doing as well as we believe we should be doing. So for students, developing resiliency. How many of you here have academic challenges? How many of you here started a program and thought, oh yeah, this is what I want to do, and then you got into the program and thought, I don't know if I can do this. But if you have a strong support network, you have people that can cheer you on, people that can guide you and help you move forward in your academic career. Mental wellness. If you're having challenges in your academic life, that can be challenging for your mental wellness in addition to. Because academic life can be emotionally and psychologically draining, and it can contribute to challenges such as anxiety or depression. How many of you get anxious before a test? How many of you get anxious when the new quarter is starting and you don't know what classes that you should take? How many of you are anxious before grades are posted and you're trying to figure out, did I pass? Did I pass? Is this the right thing? How many of you hit a challenging course, and it may not be in the program that you're in, maybe it's a gen ed. So how many of you have hit those challenges and kind of felt stuck or felt like giving up? And career transition. So college is the transitional phase. You're coming here to learn new skills in order to prepare yourself to go out into the world and practice those skills to the best of your ability, to learn and continue to grow. So it's important to take advantage of the resources that are here on campus. I'm hoping that everybody is aware that we have retention specialists, we have disability support services, we have mental wellness counseling, we have career advisors, you have your instructors, you have a host of peers that are in the program with you. We have tutors, we have library staff that is amazing. And if there is a resource that you need that is not available on this campus, some or all of the above can help you access those resources that you may need that don't exist here. Any questions so far? None? We're good? All right. Excuse me. So some of the challenges that are faced by college students include academic pressure. So we have homework, we have grades, we have class time, we have labs, we have projects, we have deadlines, and we're trying to juggle all of that. Social emotional challenges, relationships, whether that's a significant other or parents or peers, people out in the community. If we work, our coworkers. We can have anxiety, stress, we can have health-related concerns. Financial stress. Who here has not experienced some sort of financial stress, particularly as a student? We have housing or food insecurity. We have lowered income because we had to reduce our hours at work in order to be available for our classes. Or we have inflexible work hours. So we have to maintain a certain schedule for our job, and then on top of that, we got to figure out how to get to school in the time frame that we need to be there. There are students that work a night shift and come straight to the campus before their classes start so they can sleep for a couple of hours in their car because there's no other option for them, and their academics are very important for them at this point. So some of the benefits of having resiliency include more positive physical, cognitive, and emotional satisfaction. Chronic stress is also a detriment and can be one of those stressors that if we have resiliency, we can learn how to mitigate the impact of that. Ultimately, academic stress, chronic stress, all of the pieces that come along, our personal life stress, that can lead to decreased motivation, decreased academic performance, increased maladaptive behaviors, and ultimately contribute to dropping out or withdrawing from school. Anybody in here felt like I can't do this and I'm not coming back? Okay? It happens. It happens more often than not. And ultimately, if you have that support network where you can go talk to somebody, this is what I'm experiencing right now, and that support network can hopefully help you work through and tap into those resiliency skills that will keep you moving forward. Increased resiliency typically contributes to more optimism. I can do this. I've made it this far. I can do hard things. Everybody in here has done a hard thing. Everybody. It also contributes to higher self-efficacy, greater persistence, and greater confidence in your ability that I can be successful. Individuals who develop or improve their skills typically use internal problem-solving skills. Anybody here take problem solving as a class or because problem-solving skills are very important. It keeps us moving forward. If we have a problem and we can come up with some different options to resolve that problem, then that's helpful for us to keep moving. Increased resiliency also helps us accept challenges and to practice emotional regulation. All right, so emotional regulation, that means that we're not Chicken Little and the sky is not falling in, okay? We may feel discombobulated. We may feel like the sky is falling in. We may feel like we don't know what we're going to do. But resiliency helps us tap into those skills that we can calm ourselves down and in the moment take a step back and recognize, it's not the end of the world. I can do this. It might be challenging, it might be tough, but I have the ability to figure out how to move forward. These skills have also been strongly associated with improved mental well-being, decreased stress, and an increased ability to bounce back. How many of you have bounced back from an adverse circumstance and can now look back and think, wow, I've really come a long way. Look what I did. I didn't think I could overcome that, but I did. It was a good thing. Okay? Optimal psychological well-being is strongly correlated with balancing our personal and social development, improved stress response, positive mindset, and we're not talking toxic positivity, okay? So we're talking being realistic about what I really have the capacity to do, and we have the capacity to do whatever we choose to do if we have the capacity to seek the resources that we need to support us in that process. It also enhances our motivation and it improves our ability to adapt to situations. Any questions? Nope, we're good? Okay. So what can you as a student do to build your resiliency? And I'm hoping at this point all of you have some concept of your own resiliency, that you're able to look back over your history and recognize, wow, that was a really tough situation, and if I did not have this particular skill, I don't know that I would be sitting in this particular seat at this particular moment. So when you look at it from that perspective, you have to recognize that you do have resiliency. You may have wanted to give up at some point, but you're here. And you're continuing to move forward because it's the middle of the quarter and you're still here. Okay? So part of developing and enhancing those resiliency skills, developing a growth mindset. So look at the challenges as they come along as opportunities for personal growth. All right? So I'm feeling anxious about having to take this particular class because I heard that the instructor grades really hard. Okay. Do we know that for a fact? Do we know that the students that are saying the instructor grades really hard, do we know that they gave it their withal? Or did they try to skate through and that's why their grades were not what they thought they would be? So having this mindset, it gives you the ability to learn and grow through setbacks and failures versus stopping. So part of a healthy growth mindset is developing or enhancing your own self-awareness. Who am I? What am I bringing to the table? So it's not always about who's on the other side. It's about how am I showing up? Am I helping or am I hindering my own progress? Am I taking responsibilities for the choices that I made? We all have blind spots, so we may not see what we are bringing, contributing, or not to the situation that we are seeing as being difficult. Self-care, prioritizing self-care. Exercise, balanced diet, regular sleep, relaxation techniques, all of those are necessary to maintain our physical and mental well-being. But you have to look for opportunities that are truly self-care. Binging on Netflix is not self-care. It's just not. Scrolling social media, playing video games into the wee hours of the morning is not self-care. If anybody in here has scrolled mindlessly on social media or played video games to the wee hours of the morning, think about when you were going through that process. Were you as functional the next morning when you had to perform? So if you are looking for self-care, was that really self-care, or was that just a distraction to get you through the moment? Along with that comes illicit substances, drug, alcohol, food. Food is another anesthesia that people use to distract themselves from the discomfort of going through particular situations. Building a support network. Surround yourself with people that have your best interest in mind. Hang out with people that are doing things that you want to do, that are going places you want to go. If you want to be rich, you don't hang out with people who are low income, because they don't have the ability to guide you unless they were rich at some point and lost everything. Set realistic goals. We have short-term goals, medium, and long-term. Start with your long-term. I want to be over here. This is what I want to do. And from there, back yourself up so that you have small goals that you can accomplish along the way. Because if you have only this long-term goal and you don't have goals that you can assess that you're actually reaching it can tend to lead you to be unmotivated to continue moving forward. I'll never get there. Well, and maybe if this long-term goal is broken down into smaller pieces, and my first goal, which all of you have accomplished your first goal by coming to school. That's your first goal. Got to get a skill. Going to learn a trade. Going to learn some information that is going to prepare me for this long-term goal. Mindfulness and stress management. Practice mindfulness, meditation. Anybody here do meditation? Okay. And so those of you who do meditation, then you know how helpful that is. And meditation is whatever you decide it is for you. For some people, using an app to help, or using YouTube. For some people, prayer helps. There's many, many different forms of mindfulness. You have to figure out what works for you and then practice it. It's the consistency that helps it work better. Stress management. We all need stress management. Everybody here has stress. Stress is not always a bad thing. We have good stress as well as toxic stress. So learning how to manage all of those phases, from the good stress all the way to the toxic stress. Learning how to manage it keeps you moving forward, enhances your personal psychological well-being. It's okay to reach out for help if you need it. There's no shame in seeking help. Who here has done everything in their life without help from other people? We always need somebody at some point in time to kind of shore us up, to kind of keep us moving forward. Someone just a kind word. It's going to be okay. You'll be fine. I got you. I have your back. Sometimes it's just nice to know that we have that support system. And we also need to learn from our failures. Okay? If we look at failures as learning opportunities versus failures, so I didn't know what I didn't know until I got into that situation. And now that I've come through that situation, instead of thinking, oh my gosh, I failed, we have to think in terms of, What did I learn from that experience? Okay. Maybe I learned that I bit off more than I can chew. Maybe I learned that I need to work on my skills in this area. Maybe I need some more problem solving. Maybe I need additional support. But we have to look at those times as not failures, but as opportunities to grow. Plus, if we knew everything, would we be sitting here now? I would think if we knew everything that we needed to know, we would be out doing it. And finally, developing resilient thinking, okay? You have to learn how to challenge your negative thought patterns and increase your optimism. Focus on solutions rather than dwelling on the problems, and avoid unrealistic positive thinking. What needs to be done? What do you need to do to get to the next step in success? Is your thinking powerful and positive? Are you focused on the missed opportunities, or I didn't do so great? I've had students over the years stress because they got a 3.9 instead of a 4.0. And that stress prevented them from celebrating. You got a 3.9. You got a 3.9. You got a 3.9. They were so focused, and my question to them became, what would be different if you got a 4.0 versus a 3.9? How would that change your life? In the bigger picture, what would that provide? So, having gone through a number of educational journeys myself and a number of degrees, I stand here before you to say, no one has ever asked me what my GPA was. No one. The question became, do you have a degree? Can you present it to us? That was it. No one's ever asked me for my transcript, except the schools that I was applying to. But as far as my jobs, nobody asked what my transcript looked like. Do you have a degree? And all of you here are working towards that. So keep your energy focused on, am I doing well enough to obtain my degree? Any questions? Nope. Okay. So this next and final stage, what we're going to do is a little more participatory. So realistically, it's easy, but I do want you to think, all right? I have some different situations that I will present the situation, and then I would like to hear from you about what you think the student could do to improve, enhance, increase their resiliency. Okay? So the first situation, academic pressure. We talked about homework and labs and projects and deadlines and exams. So here's the situation. Charles is a nursing student and is struggling with the heavy workload and high expectations in his courses. He must maintain a high GPA to avoid being dismissed from his program, and he must pass a particular exam on a regular basis to also remain in the program. He often feels overwhelmed by the amount of studying that is required to pass the exams. All right, what are some possible things that Charles could do to help his situation? Anybody? I'm sorry, can you?
Time management.
Time management, okay. What else?
Too busy. Unless he has some extra stuff to do. Clear out his calendar.
Can you speak up?
Think of it like this. If he's too
Okay, thank you.
As long as he's done with his work, then he'll go back to, and he'll go back to do what he wants.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay. So some of the things Charles can do: reducing his study sessions to smaller chunks of time. Okay? So when I'm studying and 2 hours have passed, I might need to take a break to refresh, to reset. Okay? Use some different learning strategies. All right? So maybe what I'm doing, because I keep doing the same thing and I haven't recognized that it's not successful for me, it's not helping, find a study buddy. How many of you have study buddies in your program? People that you connect with on a regular basis to say, hey, you want to get together and work on this? Tutoring sessions. How many of you have used the tutoring? Okay? Because we all need help sometimes. Again, we don't know what we don't know. And asking for assistance from his instructors. Okay? Because your instructors are a wealth of knowledge. They've been there. They understand what you're going through. And they may have some tips and hints that they have garnered from other students in the past that may be useful for you. Okay, so the second challenge, social and emotional challenges. Jeremy is a first-generation college student and has limited guidance from home about navigating the college environment. He is attending a college that is outside his home community, and he knows no one that is there. He is missing the comfort of his former school environment and is overwhelmed by all the changes he's facing. He is also anxious due to lack of support and feeling lonely, which is contributing to feelings of dropping out. At this point, I don't want to do this anymore. It's not working for me. So what are some of the things that Jeremy could do on campus to address his situation?
Well, there's a lot he can do. Get connected on a group with people on campus, on a club, talk to an advisor, participate on just engaging on campus on whatever they have. I think there's a lot a person could do once they feel, I don't know how to put it. I think that he has to take the initiative, first of all, to participate on campus and look for guidance through a counselor or, like I said, through a club. Yeah, kind of keep it simple like that. I won't go over but he could do a lot.
Okay.
Or more. He can not do a lot, but look on campus and see what's available.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you talk louder for me?
First time I went to campus, I was really excited about making some friends. I felt a little anxious. That's when, during time when I make friends, there are times where friends make me, as long as I help them out. And there are a lot of fun activities on campus to partake in.
Okay.
Maybe utilize some of that time to bond with your new friends.
Okay, thank you. Because ultimately, Jeremy can explore the various clubs, activities, or other organizations that may be of interest and bring him into contact with other students. Okay? So again, when we're in new environments, we typically do feel anxious. Sometimes that can be overwhelming and crippling, and we don't want to participate. However, if we motivate ourselves internally and know, okay, well, that didn't work, so let me try something different, problem solve our way through the situations, find the friendly face, speak to people, wave at people, acknowledge them, and that gives them the opportunity to acknowledge you. How many of you do the ASG events that are planned? ASG goes through a lot of work to plan events for students. And if they're not planning things that appeal to you, well then perhaps you need to be the catalyst to reach out to ASG and say, hey, what about blah, 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 all right? Because we do have several different clubs and activities that are available. We've had many ASG opportunities. So my hope is that all of you have at least participated in one event, and that all of you will participate in the, help me out, Martine, the end of the school year barbecue?
July.
Okay.
July barbecue.
Okay.
Yes.
And that will be at which campus?
Central.
Central campus. So all of you are at Central, so what does that mean? All of you can participate in the July barbecue that ASG is putting together for you. Okay? So now we have financial stress. Amanda is a single mom who is in a rigorous program, and we do have a few of those rigorous programs on campus, all of the campuses. She had to reduce her work hours to maintain her academic attendance and is finding it difficult to make ends meet. Since she also has 2 young children, she is struggling to meet living expenses on a consistent basis. What are some of the things that Amanda might want to explore?
Following a passion.
The resources available
Yes, following
here,
it.
Okay.
like the childcare for her children,
Mm-hmm.
possibly, I remember what she does, but it's Katie,
Mm-hmm.
like transportation and other services available to her because she's low income.
Okay. So here on campus, we have our retention specialists. Michelle is one. She's from the downtown campus. And I'm not sure how many of you have met Katie, who is here at the central campus. And we have Danielle over at South Campus. So retention specialists can guide you through what programs are available on site for you at your particular campus, but they also have the ability to connect you to external resources. So in this case, Amanda can create a budget to help manage her limited finances, because sometimes we have money and we don't know what happened to the money. At the end of the month, we're like, wait, what happened? And part of that is because we're not tracking, we're not paying attention to, oh yeah, I had a Starbucks fancy whatever kind of coffee every single day last week, without recognizing that that might have been $50 out of our budget. Okay? So we do have to be mindful, and having a budget helps in being mindful and being more aware about what we are doing to contribute to our situation. Amanda can also reach out to the financial aid for additional support for funding resources. My hope is that everybody in here has applied for foundation scholarships when those come available. I do believe they're available right now. So if you've not applied for a foundation scholarship, unfortunately Tech High students are not eligible for that. But if you're an adult student and you are attending a program, you can apply for the numerous foundation scholarships. There are scholarships that are available for Tech High that are not through the school. There's also the Emergency Assistance Fund, so if you find yourself in a tight spot, then you could also reach out to financial aid and they can guide you through that process. Amanda may be able to take a position on campus, so ASG, paid positions, work study, paid positions. Even though right now our work study program is frozen because of lack of funding, work study is a way to supplement. She may also be able to utilize on-campus childcare. We have childcare at South Campus and the downtown campus to include, I believe, ECAP and Early Head Start. And the retention specialist at your particular campus may also be able to provide additional on-campus or community resources. Like for those of you that are on financial aid, workforce education, Work First, Opportunity Grant. There are some other programs that are in addition to your FAFSA. If you've been in the military and have discharged, if you had to reduce your work hours in order to be at school, there are some resources that are available to help supplement your financial aid. Okay, and the last scenario, balancing responsibilities. Emily is trying to manage her academic requirements, a part-time job, and participation in a number of campus-related organizations, in addition to relationships in her personal life. How many of you are going through that, where you got multiple things that you're trying to keep in the air? And maintaining yourself, too, on top of all of that, okay? She's experiencing challenges in effectively managing her time, often misses deadlines, scheduled class time, and appointments. Her personal social circle is diminishing due to her lack of availability to participate in planned events. And, you know, sometimes people ask us, hey, you wanna? And we, yeah. And then we look at our calendar and we see, oh, I already have some things planned. Well, maybe I can juggle things around. So I will say yes and accept this offer, but then the day rolls around and it's overwhelming. It's just too much. Okay, so what are some of the things that Emily could do to kind of help manage?
Prioritize.
I'm sorry?
Prioritize.
Prioritizing, okay.
Seeing which one is the most important and then eliminate what is not.
Okay.
It's hard to, or challenging to say that when you want, like you said, you want to be involved and but deciding which one is most effective for you, what you need to do, your homework, your life, taking care of yourself. I think it's being strategic about what you do.
Okay.
Time management.
Time management. That's a huge one. Time management. Because time is one of those things that once it's passed, you can't get it back. So you have to manage the same amount of hours that everybody else gets, and you have to figure out, as Martine said, prioritizing what is critical and work your way backward. And you also have to be really, really aware of needs versus wants. What do I need to do versus what I want to do? Okay. So in this particular case, Emily can utilize time management, productivity tools such as planners and apps. I don't know how many of you do a monthly, daily, weekly planner to kind of track so that you can open it up at a glance and realize, oh, I know a lot of people put things in their smartphones, and sometimes when you get too many things on one day, it stacks, so you don't see everything all in one glance. She can also learn to prioritize her commitments and obligations and determine whether it is in her best interest to maintain the same level of involvement in all of the activities that she's participating in. Because maybe I could be an observer versus an actual doer. Maybe I could support behind the scenes as opposed to being out front. Emily can schedule time with retention specialists to strategize around time management and personal expectations. She may also benefit from seeing the counselor to rule out any underlying behavioral health concerns, such as anxiety, depression, or other cognitive impact. So the question becomes anxiety. So how does anxiety contribute to mismanaging or misbalanced responsibilities? If I'm anxious about getting everything done, if I'm anxious about how people are going to perceive me, if I'm anxious about appearing a certain way that I don't want anybody to have a negative connotation of me, I may take on more and more and more. If I'm anxious about not doing a 4.0 versus a 3.9, I may contribute to my own stress because I need it to be perfect. And in my fear of it not being perfect, maybe I procrastinate and I wait to the last minute. Now I have increased my stress because I got to get it done, right? Depression. I might have high functioning depression. You know, people think about depressed people as being really down here, but that's not always the case. Depression has different levels. So if I have high functioning depression, I may, again, procrastinate because I know I have to do it, but right now I just don't have the motivation or the energy to follow through. But because I have some depression, I'm going to force myself to do it. And in forcing myself to do things that I don't have the energy or motivation to do, then maybe I will come up with the motivation. Doesn't always work that way, all right? So any kind of mental health challenge can contribute to not being able to balance. Maybe I have underdiagnosed attention deficit or attention deficit hyperactivity or any other, maybe I have a learning disability and nobody's ever noticed it. And that increases my anxiety because I'm not understanding what it is I'm supposed to do. So all of these things could be intertwined. And it's important to reach out for resources because, again, we don't know what we don't know.